This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, we have Konnan and Buff with his stuff taking on the Steiners here, and the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, is in the ring. He's managing the Steiners. Now, Ted, he was with the WWF at this time. I keep calling him, WWF, WWE. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. But I think he had been with them prior to this and then made the leap to come over again, trying to shock everyone with the former WWF superstars.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's more money. Eric was willing to pay Teddy more money than Vince was willing to pay him.
Right.
And, they didn't do, I don't know that Ted went on the road to do house shows, live events. So, it's a better deal for Teddy. I think I read somewhere the other day online that Ted's thinking about starting a wrestling school, which I think would be very good.
Okay.
He'd be really good doing that if he decides to commit to it. Dustin Rhodes has got a new wrestling school down in the Austin, Texas area. And Dustin does such a great job with the females. Not that he can't teach a male wrestling, obviously, but the ladies like his patience and his sensitivities as far as not jumping down their throat and belittling them when they don't execute well. That might not be the best way to teach people that, you're green, you're green. The only thing that lessens the green is experience. Well, I tell you, there's some, Rick Steiner Scotty looks to be not a fan of Buff. So now Scotty wraps up that belly to belly. You see Buff's eyes before he went up because he knew he could not change direction. You're going to be suplexed by Scott Steiner.
I've never seen so much muscle on muscle in my life, JR.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That is unbelievable. Both of them, the physiques are insane. And, by the way, and we're going to see this at the end, in about a month, we'd see the birth of Big Poppa Pump. This is when they're starting to have some dissension, him and Rick. And I think Super Brawl in February, that would all go down, and you'd start to see in February the birth of Big Poppa Pump. So there you go.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, very interesting time in our business. A lot of change, a lot of evolution, a lot of guys moving up the ladder. And with that comes the inevitable insecurities, dissension. Man, that Scotty's so strong, man. He is a freak of nature. And Konnan is just, I've always thought he was so underrated as well. Great wrestling mind. A very intelligent guy.
So our main man, Stan Morris, hooked us up, JR. He wanted to let us know about what happened with the Larry Scott Hall deal. So, the feud would continue on with Hall and his lackey Louis Spicolli, who passed, culminating in a match between Zbyszko and Hall at Sold Out 98 from January. Zbyszko won the match by DQ after Dusty Rhodes betrayed him, joining the NWO. I can't even make it up. Dusty Rhodes now in the NWO.
So there to me was where it started, not because of Dusty.
Right.
Just the raw numbers of NWO guys.
Yeah.
That would have been like the one thing about why the Horsemen has such longevity is that the core group of Horsemen never really changed. You always had Rick and you always had Arn and Tully. Then you'd have whoever the next guy is going to be. Could have been Lex. It could have been Barry Windham. Ole was in their course for a long time in the beginning. So, but they kept it pretty clean, did the Horsemen. I think that helped them over the long haul.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, too, it felt like if you breathed oxygen and were on WWF's roster at any point, we're bringing you in. And it started to get like, okay, some of these guys you're bringing in, it's not doing anything for me. And everyone kind of sees what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So. Nice.
Well, like this match, they're finally getting some heat on Rick Steiner or Scott Steiner. So the heels have turned the curve here, started building some heat. I found it interesting that they're getting the heat on Scotty, who's potentially the biggest star in the entire match. But nonetheless, maybe that works.
And there's Charles Robinson, who's seemingly been reffing forever and still looks the same.
Yeah, he does.
Little Nate.
He's got this little nature boy haircut. And didn't Charles even have a car? His license tag says Nate or Little Nate or something like
Little
that.
Nate, I believe. Across the channel on Raw, by the way, this was the big deal. You had NWA wrestling going on. The Rock and Roll Express were on Raw. I'm not making that up. Do you remember that? The NWA and kind of the test.
Oh, yeah.
What you were doing with them. Yeah. At the time.
Well, you knew you was going to get great match quality. Wow. That's dangerous. And it's so impressive looking.
Here we go. The pin and the Steiners with the victory. And I don't think things are over yet, JR.
Okay, you think?
Something tells me this isn't going to end with just a simple pose off.
The old Buff needs to get in his car and go home.
Yeah, and not take anybody's money bag on the way out. There we go. Here's Ted DiBiase now, the manager, arguing with Scott.
Scotty is so volatile in real life and in on screen. That's sellable, man. It was real.
Yeah, DiBiase's yelling at Scott for never tagging out, and then he walks away from both DiBiase and his brother. Again, we would see that continue to go on until Super Brawl with the change. So we're seeing the Steiners begin their breakup angle here, but isn't that the reason the Steiners left the WWF over a proposal to have them break up and feud?
Might have been, Paul. I'm not sure. I can't recall, but it might have been. They like being partners. They like traveling together. But everybody's got to, sometimes creative just wants to change for change's sake, and that's never good.
Right.
And, but look, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Scotty Steiner had the ability to be the world champion, had the look, had the demeanor. But, sometimes he was so volatile and outspoken that it was considered that he might not be as reliable as he needed to be in that role. I think he'd been a great champion, quite frankly.
Absolutely. He would come back as Big Poppa Pump in the WWF/E and got a little bit of a push there, but
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.